Hello and welcome to another episode of The Jasmine Tea, where we give you piping hot commentary on your favorite Black shows. I'm your host, Jasmine. Tonight I'll be recapping Queen of the South, episode 6. So let's get into our What's Been Brewing moments and see what Black Twitter has been talking about. Number 1, Jaresa, which is James and Teresa, okay? They've been at it again. This episode kind of ended with them having a little bit of a tender moment out on the balcony as Teresa laid out her plans to basically dominate the world. Like, sis has just wrapped up New Orleans. She's already had to make a move over there in Berlin. Now she's ready to expand to Europe. Like, Teresa's on some big game type stuff. But James was right there to talk about it. You know, he was being a little cautionary. Like, you sure you want to do all of this? You know, you sure you want to take on this big heavy of a load? And also just bring this much attention to yourself. It's one thing if you're out here selling dime bags. And then it's another thing if you like, you know, selling tons. And we already know Teresa's deep in the game. She's a heavy hitter. But like, Louisiana, Europe. Louisiana, Europe. You know, so James was just trying to like run it by her, like, hey, you sure you ready for this? But she basically told him, like, I want to get too big to become unstoppable. Like, I want to be too big to be a problem. I want to be the problem, not have problems, because I am so big. So, like, you know, I know she's selling drugs and all, but I respect her hustle. I respect the game. Secondly, Teresa's wardrobe. Did y'all see that black and white suit? It was flawless. Sis always comes through with a good power suit every season. Usually it's white, and that reminds me of Shonda Rhimes with like Olivia Pope, and even on How to Get Away with Murder. And Elise would sometimes wear white at times, but in particular, Olivia Pope and Scandal. It would be like the end of every season. Her and Fitz would break up, and all of a sudden, now she has on this, like, you know, badass white suit as she's gallivanting across the White House lawn or some shit. Like, just fresh and so clean, refined, done with the bullshit, allegedly. We all know she went back and forth with Fitz forever. But I'm not recapping Scandal. Back to Teresa's suit, okay? It was giving me the same bad bitch power girl moment. I like the black. I like the accent. It paired well with her hair. So shout out to the stylist, whoever's on the team over there on the Queen of the South show. We see you. Our third What's Been Brewing moment. The people are begging for season 6. Look, we know this is the final season, but that don't mean we got to be happy about it. So once again, shout out to the writers. Y'all are leaving the people wanting more, which I feel like is something you should always do. You know, never leave them satisfied. Always have them like, ooh, I wish they would have did this, or what about that? Not so much that you don't tie up storylines. Tie up all the storylines, but leave us wanting more. Okay? All right, now, and since we're talking about wanting more, let's get into our piping hot moments from episode 6. Number 1, King George is in Miami. And I mean, for what? But Teresa sent him down there to spy on Boaz because, as we know, Boaz has killed the judge. In the beginning of this episode, we see Teresa get this large shipment of money from Boaz in Miami. Where did all this come from, son? Like, yes, we know y'all are making lots of money, but this is like millions of dollars in cash that she now has to figure out what to do with. Like, it's just inconvenient. You know, Boaz is clearly doing his own thing, and while his mouth continues to say, Teresa's the boss, his actions don't really match it. Now, I thought that King George was just way too obvious when he got to Miami. Like, Boaz is definitely going to know you're not here just to kick it, because he came in with some lame excuse about making another deal and needing it to be in Miami. He was just way too eager to be there. Like, he was telling Boaz that he agreed with him killing Judge Lafayette because what he had done to Javier wasn't right. Now, I just don't really feel like Boaz was buying it. He was calling George a gringo, which means a white man. And he was just acting real like, I just want to be in the club, accept me, you know. It wasn't giving good vibes. And by the end of the episode, Boaz let King George know that he was aware of his ulterior motives, because he ended up killing a dude right in front of him and said dude was trying to infiltrate his business. Like, he was being slick on the low. So it was like an unspoken threat, which is my favorite kind. You know, it's kind of like implied that you can get the business. So once again, respect. Our second piping hot moment, and y'all just bear with me on these names. I'm from the South. Russian and me is like, but we're going to try. So Askanas reveals that she's been making side deals. She has been selling Molly to somebody else, and her beloved cousin, Koista, isn't aware of that. So something has gone wrong with this deal that Askanas has made. She was supposed to be paid with a painting. She got the painting, discovered that it was fake, and so now she's out of that money. They already got the Molly. So she's telling Teresa about it, who we know tends to put on her superwoman cape and become Captain Save-A-Ho, especially when it comes to trying to help out another woman. So Teresa steps in and tries to help Askanas figure this out, but it gets kind of messy, and they end up going to Berlin. Teresa was like, you know what, F it, let's just go over there because I want to talk to him myself. As we've seen in the previous episodes, Teresa has been letting it be known that she wants to meet with Koista face to face. Like, no more working through Askanas. I've proven myself. I'm a big boss deal too. Let's talk. So they go over to Berlin, and in order to meet Koista and some of his associates, James ends up stealing this really expensive painting. Of course, he walks into the place. It's a restaurant where the painting was hanging. He walks into the restaurant, guns a-blazing, shooting up stuff. I really hope those weren't real bullets, now that I think about it, because why them people had to die? What they was doing with you? But it was mostly like a lot of smoke and hopefully some plastic bullets or something, rubber bullets. Probably not, but anyway. James walks in, does his job, steals the painting. So Teresa gets to meet with Koista. They seem like it's going to be a good talk, but then it goes way left, okay? In summations, all the Russians die. Everybody. Except Askanas. Except old girl. Teresa keeps her around, and now Askanas is the head of her own empire, and Koista's dead. So, now we got two power plays, two women running the show. It does seem like we may get a little more drama out of the situation, though, because Teresa introduced Askanas to this Polish man. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember his name, but time he saw Askanas, he gave her the stank eye because he said that Polish people and Russian people don't do business together. Now we know our girl Teresa was like, I said what I said, and if you're gonna be doing business with me, you're gonna be doing business with the Russians. So you taking the deal or not? So we're gonna see Askanas and this Polish dude are supposed to be working together. They gave each other a little mutual evil eye, like I see you seeing me, I know you see me seeing you type thing. I feel like we can see a little drama from that later, but let's just keep watching and find out. Also on that note, Dumas is still in jail, bruh. I feel like his storyline may be over. He might just be in there. Our third piping hot moment is Teresa's going international. As I just said, she's already caused some drama, stirred stuff up in Louisiana, bounced over to Berlin, killed everybody. And she let the Polish man know, hey, give me your contacts in Europe. I want to meet with them as well. So as she's telling James, hey, I will buy the bank if we need a bank. I want to be big enough to where I don't have no problems. We're seeing her put action behind her words, money behind her mouth. She's making it happen. So truly, she won't just be the queen of the South. She's going to be the queen of cocaine, period. Okay, Teresa is really taking over the entire game. And I just love to see it, especially if she's going to continue wearing such attractive suits. So on that note, we're going to get into our games and guesses. And in honor of Teresas Suits, tell me which of these celebrity ensembles would you rock or not? Okay. First up, we got our girl Cardi B. She's in this black and white winter suit. It looks a little thick, not your summer outfit, but I personally love it. I would rock it. I love the hat. I feel like it gives some extra style. Ain't nothing like a good nasty bob, cut to precision. Respect. Second up, we have Rihanna looking oh so pretty in pink. I love the texture around her shoulder, the feathers, and I feel like that particular color of pink just complements her skin tone really well, so I would rock it, but with you. And lastly, we have Beyonce, who is making everybody just a little bit more envious in this green suit she is rocking. Beyonce don't have too many misses, her outfits pretty much be on point. There was a time when she wore that really ugly little weird bang. Y'all remember that? It was just too short. But outfit wise, sis be on it. So would you rock this green suit or not? Let me know in the comments. And now we're just going to guess a little bit. So by the end of the series, since we know, sadly, this is the last season, do you think James and Teresa are going to be together? Is Jaresa going to be a real thing or not? Also, do you think King George is going to pull one over on Boaz? Like, now that Boaz has let him know, basically, I know you know, or I know you watching me. How do you think King George is going to react? Are they going to have some type of confrontational moment? Are they going to bump heads? I feel like both of them have such alpha male energy. King George is kind of being a bit submissive at the moment. He's pulling a little beta male in just to try to earn Boaz's trust, but he doesn't have it. So because of that, I'm curious about whether you think things are going to continue to go smoothly in Miami between them or not. And lastly, do you think that Pote and Kellyanne are going to have a boy or girl? We saw Pote and Teresa have a moment in the car where Pote was talking about all the things he get to do with his son and how much he was looking forward to it, etc., etc. And Teresa was like, or your daughter. And he looked like spooked. He looked totally scared, like he'd never even fathomed the idea that there could be a little girl in there. So what do you think? I'm team girl because I feel like it would just melt Pote. Like he would just be like, just mush, in her little hands. But tell me what you think. And that is going to wrap up this episode of The Jasmine Tea. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be the first one to know when my recap of Pose is coming out later this week. Make sure you're following me on social media at The Jasmine Tea. Find me on Twitter. I live tweet during the shows. I would love to have a conversation with you. Come in and join the comments. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm way more fun on Twitter, but you can also follow me on there too. And make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Like Teresa, I would love to take over the talk show world. I would love to be on your screen live in color every day, and that will help me get there. Email all of your questions, comments, and observations about the shows to thejasminet, like this one up top, PC for podcast, @gmail.com. And if you're too busy to visually watch me, make sure you listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found, friends. I'll see you later. Bye.